am Syed Rashid. You are watching Ahlaved High School and Junior College YouTube channel. Welcome to my video to all students as well as viewers. Today just we are going to continue our class 11th inter first year physics chapter number 5 laws of motion part number 1. So if you want to know the laws of motion, we need to know few things with us. One thing we have with us like force. Okay, what is force? Okay, in our lower classes, especially in class 8, we have learnt force is nothing but any pull or push is called force, isn't it? But in this intermediate first year, we need to know few more things related to the force. Okay, force is an physical quantity. Okay, PHYSICAL, physical, QUANTITY quantity, which can change change the state state of an body or object, whatever you call. Okay, so this is force. And one more thing, force, okay, what is the meaning of change in the state of body or object? What do you mean? Means force can do change the state of body from rest to motion. Okay, if any object which is at rest, it can change that rest to motion. After that, it can do like motion to rest. These two things. And one more important thing which already we have come across in our 8th class standard physics, that it can change the shape of an object. Okay, force can change the shape, SHAP, shape of object, OBJECT, object. One more thing, what force can do? Force can change the direction, DIRECTION, direction of object. These many things force can do. So this is a basic related to the force. And for force we have lot of definition in different materials and readers or study material. This is enough. That is a basic thing to know about the force. Okay, if you want, you can copy down and remember this also. Few more things related to the force I'd like to say, like we can say that force is an external agency or an effort to move the body which was stationary, or else which was resist the body from the moving. To move a body or to stop from moving, force does not need to be always in contact with body. It can be contact or non-contact. Okay, force can have two types. Okay, the two types of force we have with us, like contact force, okay, and non-contact force, non-contact force. And for this we need few examples also. I am giving here. Contact force. Contact force example we have with us, like what I can say, yes, muscular force. Muscular force is an contact force. Okay, and for non-contact force we have lot of definition, like gravitation. Gravitation is nothing but it is a non-contact force. And we have different definitions with us related to the force. And for non-contact especially we have many examples, like magnetic force is also non-contact force, and electrostatic force also non-contact force. And I am giving few more example related to force, need to listen. If suppose wind is acting as a force when it is capable of moving the branches of the tree, a magnet can attract an iron material without even contact. So all the forces exert on body should always be not contact or not non-contact. What is it mean? Just only I explained that force categorized into two types. Okay, some force directly contact with the object or body, and some contact does not like contact, it has a force at a distance. Now we have few theories related to different scientists related to the thing force. Like in this chapter mainly we may come across few words with us, keywords you can say. We can listen more words like rest, motion, okay, and we have force already I said, and we have later on like impulse, IMPLUSE, impulse, time. After time we have with us like yes, momentum. Momentum is one of the important topic in this chapter related to knowledge point of view as well as examination point of view. Now if I am just rubbing this part, after that I am continuing this. Next, Aristotle fallacy. That means Aristotle has given few points related to the state of body in moving or rest. So Aristotle states that to keep a body in a moving state, an external force has to be applied on it. That means if I want to keep few object in only moving state, I need to apply an external force. But here the theory seems to be flawed, because to keep a body in motion, enough force should be applied in the direction of motion to be balanced the opposite force which tried to stop the body from moving. Such opposing force can be frictional force for solid surfaces or viscous forces for fluid surfaces. That means here Aristotle is saying that if we want to keep some body in a moving state, we need to apply few external force. But if we are apply some enough external force also, it might not possible to keep the body or object in moving, because if I am like rolling the ball on the floor, I may get some resisting force related from the force, like we can say frictional force. Or else if I want to throw a ball with like enough force in air, again that ball can reach at maximum height. After reaching the maximum height goes down to the ground because of the gravitational force. So it is from this we can say that if we apply enough force or external force also, the body may not be in moving state forever. It might have to be again rest due to few resist forces existed in our nature. So this is Aristotle. Next is inertia. What is inertia and laws of inertia? Inertia is nothing but if we want to change any object, okay, from rest to motion, okay, or else vice versa, we can say motion to rest. What we need? We need to apply some external force. That external force is applied on that object, and object should also support to that external force. Then only the object may change from rest to motion or motion to rest. For that I will just tell the definition, you can understood. Inertia can be defined as the property of the body by which it tends to rest if no external force acting on it, and it's move with a uniform velocity when it is in motion. That means that's only I explained just now. If we want to change the status of body, we need to apply some external force. That external force, and apart from external force, body also need to support that external force, so that its state change from rest to motion or motion to rest. That property of an object we can say as inertia. Okay, for laws of inertia we have two laws. Okay, if a body is coming downwards, okay, coming downwards, D-O-W-N-W-A-R-D, downwards, okay, it's accelerate. That means its speed increase, we can say it accelerate, A-C-C-E-L-E-R-A-T-E. Accelerate means speed increases, I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E-S. And if the body is like going upward, it's retard, okay, means speed decreases, D-E-C-R-E-A-S-C-S. So this is the loss of inertia says, and this is natural thing also we can observe in our daily life. This is not we can say that we are defining or we are expressing in scientific way, but this is a common cause usually seen in our like daily life. If something is going upward means its speed that means decreases automatically. After reaching the maximum point, its speed again increases, and finally the thing which touches the ground. And this is the inertia and loss of inertia. We have few types of inertia also, you might have learned in your like previous classes. We have two type of inertia with us. One is we have static inertia and we have dynamic inertia. So by name itself we can say that if a body in rest, the inertia that means exists in that body is static inertia. If object in motion, if inertia exists means this is nothing but dynamic inertia we can say. So for Aristotle, fluency, inertia, laws of inertia and types of inertia you can copy from here. I am going to place like few things related to the thing which I explained just now to you. Hope you have go through with the Aristotle, fluency, inertia, laws of inertia. If you want, you can copy down and remember also, and you need to remember at least inertia and laws of inertia. Okay, now we will going to start new topic with us, like Newton's law of motion. Newton's laws of motion, and this have different names also. I will explain you. What do you know about Newton? Okay, Newton is an like one of the leading scientists related to between like 1650 to 700 century. Okay, he has introduced the gravitation, as well as he have come across with the works like universal law of gravitation, as well as he introduced few laws of motion. After that he worked on the optics. Okay, optics is nothing but this is a part of physics. That means in second year you are going to learn about the ray optics. He like work on optics, as well as he has done with few problems like calculus. Okay, calculus is one of the important subject related to our 1B and 2B, and he has done many contribution to mathematics and physics, and he is the one who got his title as father of physics as well as father of maths. Now you have heard the story that when Newton was in rest at his garden, an apple fallen on him. Then he has thought multiple points related to the fallen apples, that why this apple does not falls or go to the like upward side or sky side rather than coming to the earth side. After that he raised few questions about that, why the moon is round or spherical or circular. We was not known the like particular related to the moon, earth or something, is it circular, spherical, and what is this. So finally we got that earth, moon and all the planets are spherical. And what is the difference between spherical and circular? Circular is nothing but two dimension. If we cut sphere, we will get n number of circles. Okay, so this is the difference. So he got few questions like why moon is not falling to the earth. If apple falls, means why moon is not falling to the earth. Then he has done many theories. After that he got like few laws and few terms. Now in this chapter, like laws of motion, we will going to know the Newton's laws of motion. First of all, Newton introduced three laws. Okay, and Newton first law is also called as like first law of motion, FIRST, first law of motion. Okay, and you know that Newton's first law, and this law has one more name like law of inertia. So what is this law says? Okay, inertia. Simple thing, if any object which is in rest, okay, or in motion, it will not going to change its state until and unless, okay, the state of body cannot be changed, CHANGED, until and unless compelled by an external force to be applied. That means if the object in rest, it will be in rest, okay, and if object in motion, it will be in motion until and unless compelled by an external force. So for Newton's first law you can define, listen carefully. Newton's first law states that body cannot be changed until and unless applied by an external force. So what is the change means here? Rest to motion, motion to rest. I am saying this definition clearly and fairly, just listen and write. Okay, this is a rough definition just I wrote, so listen carefully. According to Newton's first law of motion, a particle continues to be in its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force is applied. Here we can say that particle, object, body, whatever it may be. So this is Newton's first law says. Next, Newton's second law. Newton's second law, or we can say this is second law of motion also. This name has second law of motion. After that it has its own name like law of force, we can say, or law of momentum. Law of force or momentum, it has different names. Here this law shows a relation between net external force and acceleration and mass. This law states that the change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied and taken place in the direction in which the force is act. It is mathematically expressed as sigma f is equals to ma. Momentum is given by p is equals to mv. To remember this law, you can just remember this point, f is equals to ma, and you can say that like Newton's second law of motion states that the external force acting on an object is equal to its product of mass and acceleration. And this is Newton's second law, and we have one formula with us like momentum. Momentum is we can say like it is also a physical quantity, and it has denoted by p is equals to mv. Okay, p here is nothing but momentum, m is mass, v is velocity. Here f is force, m is mass, a is acceleration. So this is the thing we have with us like Newton first law, Newton second law, and we have few important points related to the Newton second law. Need to listen carefully. This law is consistent with the first law of motion, because in case of f is equals to 0 or a is equals to 0, this law is consistent with first law. Again, next point, this law is applicable to the single point particle. That means Newton's second law is applicable for single point particle. This law states that the force encountered in a particular time is related to the acceleration occurs in the same time. That means if I am applying the force, that time only acceleration applicable. When a large force is applied for very small amount of time, change in momentum take place, which is nothing but impulse. Its SI unit is Newton per second. One more physical quantity here introduced with us like impulse. Okay, IMPLUSE. For impulse, I am writing one formula. We can say like mass into time, isn't it? Mass into time. Here mass is nothing but time is also time, and the SI unit of impulse is Newton per second. Okay, Newton per second. So this is also important thing. What is impulse means? Impulse, you can write that. I am telling the impulse definition once again. Listen carefully. When a large force is applied for very small amount of time, change in momentum take place, which is nothing but impulse. Its SI unit is Newton meters second. Or else here Newton per meter second, not Newton second, only Newton second. So in numerics it might help you. In 2 marks, 4 marks numeric, impulse might help you. Now I am stopping our part 1. We will going to continue a few more topics related to the laws of motion in our part 2. I am Syed Rashid. You are watching Ahliabad High School and Junior College YouTube channel. Make sure maintain notes, practice more than one time, browse your respective material. Have a great time. Take care. Thank you.